Hi everybody, how are you? So when you've cleaned the filters, when you've seen through the illusion of separation and felt through the illusion of separation, now you, as a seemingly separate being, have caught up with Goddess. You've caught up with God. And what's looking out of your eyes is just pure oneness. And she writes a very different story than the story of separation because she sees that she's not separate. And I recently listened to a Rupert Sheldrake talk about the I, literally what the I is. There's a theory, I learned it in my doctoral studies, that what the I is basically an inverse projector. So there's light from outside of ourselves coming into the I, and a little movie or theater show is happening inside our brain, and there's a homunculus or some kind of a separate self in there that's receiving this movie, that the world is happening inside the head. But that actually, there's a bunch of experiments that just debunk that. And of course, we can feel it directly. We don't experience the world inside our head, we experience the world out there. Again, it's not actually separate. But what the I is, in Sheldrake's talk, is seen to be a projector, meaning you are a refraction of light, and God, pure source, pure energy, pure consciousness, is moving through this body and projecting out. Like, the Pink Floyd album cover, Dark Side of the Moon, right? Light's coming in to this form and it's being refracted out. And it's projecting out from your eyes, from your body. You are emitting light. You are also emitting a story. You can, since you're God and you can realize that, you can watch and sort of catch up with the story that God is writing through you. And my experience, and many other people I know, God is no longer writing the story of separation, of like tribalism, of nation states, of all kinds of ways that the story of separation, of us not being one body, one family, have been written. Rather, it's seen to be very clear, like, of course we're one family. You can see and feel that. You can also see and feel that through a microscope, through physics, through seemingly going objective and looking back at ourselves subjectively. You're going to find the same thing, whether you're looking at it subjectively or looking at it through a microscope. You're going to see oneness. It's obvious. It's totally just true. So what does God do with waking up to herself? From my experience, she's writing a really cool story of all the ways that we can come together as one family, healing the earth, healing each other, being done with nation states and governments and what's essentially a global corporation that's been running the show, and get together and live the life that God would want us to live as herself, which is to live as one, since we are. That's the only story I can see that she wants to write for herself. And so that's my favorite thing to do, is think through that story for myself and with all my friends and clients and family. Is what world do we want to create? Because here we are feeling we're at the penhead of God, and she would like to write something very, very different than what we've had so far. Thanks.